Hi, I'm Engineer Hoist, and today we'll be taking a look at the power of the Primes Razorclaw. Welcome back to Predaking Week. It is day 5. We're almost there. We're taking a look at Razorclaw now. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon to be notified when we post the next video, which will be the Predaking review, where we get him combined and take a look at him in all his glory. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at Razorclaw. He's looking pretty nice. He's got the head here, of course, and no stickers for his mane. This is all painted detail there, and he's got a pretty decent shape. Doesn't have as much problem as the leg bots. He doesn't have that huge hunk of thigh dealing with him. He does kind of have these pieces hanging off there, which, you know, we'll talk about that in a second, and it's not too terrible. It is kind of a bummer that he doesn't have his tail sticking out like he did before. One thing that he does have, though, is if we flip up his lion head while holding down the mane, he's got, this is the Onyx Matrix. This is the Onyx Matrix. And basically what this is the Onyx Prime Master in a little matrix holder, similar to what you get from the Power of the Primes, Optimus Prime and Rodimus Prime, and I think Rodimus Unicronus, and maybe even Nemesis Prime. But this is the only way to get the Onyx Prime Master, is to get this Predaking set. And he can transform. And there he is. He's basically just an unpainted bot. He's got a little splotch of black on his head there. Not a whole lot more to say about that. Now, of course, you can put this back in, and you can fit any Prime Master or even Titan Master in here, and stick this right back in here to Razorclaw's head, close it up, and now he's got it all nice and secure behind this snarling head here. And so, yeah, obviously you can open up his little mouth here so you can, "Rawr, Predacons," you know. And articulation-wise, he's got a little bit of articulation here, a little bit of toe stuff here. If you try to move his legs a little too much, then he starts to fall apart at the back because it doesn't tab in real secure anywhere. And you can't get his arm out. Doesn't really support the hi guys kind of thing. I guess you can, hey, hi guys, I'm Razorclaw. Yeah, okay. So there you go. That's the articulation and the silliness related to Razorclaw. Oh, and there is one final weapon that comes with this set, and this is intended for Razorclaw. It does have a post here, but the way you attach it to him is there is this rectangular hole here and a rectangular little tab here, and you just kind of shove that in his backside. Well, not really his backside, his back, and then there you go. He's got a nice little gun submarine kind of thing there on his back. Let's go ahead and take that out. And now let's bring in, just like with all the other videos, the G1 reissue Razorclaw so we can see how he compares. As usual, he's much larger, and this guy, the gold, is more gold as opposed to the yellow on the Power of the Primes. The gold on his mane was stickers, so that's why they're a little bit more shiny than on Razorclaw. Now, if you get the Reaper labels like I do, they do have stickers that go, even though these are nicely painted, I believe they are giving us stickers to go enhance the mane even more. Now, one thing I think is cool, he's got the guns on the side of Razorclaw on his lion shoulders, and they've also got that over here on the Power of the Primes. As usual with everything else, anything that was kind of gold over here is more yellow on the Power of the Primes. He's got the orange in the mane. We got the orange over here as well. Kind of black in the midsection. He does have reddish legs here on both sides, whereas the Power of the Primes went with the black. But other than that, they're pretty good. I mean, even this one has got the legs kind of at an angle, so this is kind of true. He just doesn't really have these extra little pieces hanging off. We'll just call that armor or something. So it's a pretty good representation. And if I recall, this dude had a little mouth that opened too. Yeah, so pretty good representation all across the board, to be honest with you. Okay, let's get him out of the way. Then let's get on to transformation. Okay, so what we're going to do to transform him, I think we'll start with the legs. It's pretty much what we did with the other ones. We'll actually kind of untab the legs, and it also opens up this flap on the side. It sort of tabs into the side and the back there. And this comes back around, and what you want to do is actually fold his foot up like that and try to get this even. There's a couple of moving parts in here and they have to line up just right. So when you fold this tab, there's a slot here that goes into a tab there. When you first get it, it may not line up like right there. So you might actually have to adjust it a little bit more and just kind of eyeball it until it lines up and it tabs in nicely. And so that's the first leg done, and you go through this same process on the other side. Go ahead and fold that up, and I think basically what you do is you bring the leg down towards in a straight line with that, and then bring this up and fold it around, and that should line up everything nicely, and it does. Take these pieces and you flip them down to form kind of a little skirt, or you could have left them in lion mode that way too. I don't think it really makes a huge difference. You take the lion head and you kind of untab it, spin it around, drop it down, and it tabs in sort of right here in the chest into some slots on the mane. There you go. The arms, they come out to the side. And then these gun pieces, you fold this out, rotate it around until it's up, and then just keep rotating it around. And that's a little bit off camera. There we go. Let's try this again. So kind of bring the arm down and fold it out. Now this here, you just bring it out, straight out, rotate it to where it's pointed up, and then fold it back around on the arm. You end up rotating the arms around, you flip out the fist, there's that. Rotate the arm around, flip out the fist. One of these was hard, I think, yeah. There we go, almost got it, but almost pushed it back in, no! There we go. And there is Razorclaw, well, except for the head. Pick that up, spin it around, give him a nice little pose, and there he is, Razorclaw. As usual, you can take the gun. He's got a standard 5mm port there. He can hold the gun in either hand, and they do actually have a little notch here in the weapon that takes into account some interference with his arm. It's still, I would have liked the peg that it holds onto to be a little bit longer, because he doesn't really hold this quite as securely. Very similar to Dive Bomb, where he just doesn't hold the guns quite as nice as you'd like. It's better, just still not very good. So let's get him posed nicely, and then we'll be right back with the G1 figure. And here he is. Pretty good looking duo over here. These guys are probably more of a deviation from the original one on this guy. Obviously we have the same gold versus yellow and orange versus orange differences as we do in all of the other bots, but we do still have the same relative colors in all of the right places. He's got his red lion legs sitting there, whereas we don't see any of that over here on the Power of the Primes version. He's also got some red on the feet and some gold here. We don't see any of that. It's just some big black blocks over here on the Power of the Primes, but the repro labels that I've got coming will probably be taking care of that, and it may be included on the sticker set that comes with it, but like I said, I haven't applied that because I do have those repro labels coming. The lions on the chest, that is his signature look. There's no way you can get around having that on there. And he's got the gold on the arms, he's got the yellow here, and he's got the black forearms. And, well, the original one's got some little stumpy arms. He basically doesn't have forearms, and I would think that if he had forearms, they'd be black. So, there's that comparison. Pretty good looking, I'd say. And we'll go ahead and get this guy out of the way. And then we'll move on to getting this guy into combined mode. Now, he probably goes through the biggest metamorphosis to get into combined mode. He basically unfolds and then goes back together. And what we're going to do, obviously, we're going to start by tucking his head away because he doesn't need it anymore. And we'll go ahead and bring his lion head back around to his lion mode side. And in fact, it's probably a better place to start for pretty much all of these guys going into combined mode to be in their animal mode, because that's pretty much what the combiner is based on. But we're going from robot mode anyway. We'll go ahead and tuck these fists back in. And let's see, I can't quite remember. I think what we do is we just fold these around, and then we don't want to tab that in just yet, but we will bring the arms around, and then we just kind of have that up, and where are we? No, they're actually going to be around like that, but we're going to leave them here for now, because what we got to do before we get to that is we're going to split this guy here at the waist, because look what's in there. The big old Predaking head. That's right, he's been hiding here in Razorclaw's torso this whole time. So we just go ahead and split that, fold that up, and then close this back. Tab that back together, and then you can just tab that Predaking head right back onto that. And that's ready to go. And now we can fold these legs back around. There is kind of a little tab on the back of the legs that goes into a hole here. Boom. And boom. Alright, and now he does have these extra little pieces which flip out. Gives him a little extra fancy lion mane for his Predaking mode. This little piece here underneath will actually flip down, and you kind of got to lift the lion head up a little bit to get that there. That's like the extra super fancy lion mane. And what we're going to basically do with these legs is transform them pretty much back into the lion mode feet. So that means we want to untab these flaps. We'll fold this back around. We've got that tab there. It goes into a slot. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get on in there. It's a little hard to see. There it goes. And we'll fold this back, and now we'll actually kind of fold these lion paws, completely off of his leg is what we'll do. No, that's not what we want to do. We just want to kind of fold them back, and they're just going to kind of hang there for now. And we do the same thing on the other side. Fold this back around. We're going to tab that in, and as you're doing this, some things may come untabbed, especially if you're clumsy like me. And we'll go ahead and fold that in there, and we'll go ahead and fold these legs back like that, and fold these back, and that's pretty much the combined mode for Razorclaw. And this piece has a tendency to come undone until you get him all nice and combined. Once it's combined, it's far more secure. So he's kind of just the leaping lion with the gigantic robot head on his back, kind of there. So not a particularly impressive combined mode, but once you get them combined, he comes together very nicely. But you're going to have to wait for the next video for that, because we are done here with Razorclaw. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified for when we post that Predaking video. If you missed any of the other videos, there's a link to the playlist in the description. And that's going to do it for this video. I'm Engineer Hoist. Keep oiling, my friends. Thanks for watching.